So I collect things like a lot of people. One of the things I collect is conversations out of books, out of workbooks I use in my training sessions. I do communication and conversation skills training, so I have lots of different conversations that I've collected over the years. For example, the 5 steps of selling is a very common, still used today, even though it's been around for decades, transactional selling structure. And most communication workshops that I run have some kind of stepped out, chronological, linear process for the person of influence to use when they are having a conversation with someone. For example, and by the way, these structures are always for the person of influence, the manager, the salesperson, the negotiator. And the idea is to use these structures to bring the other person along. Anyway, I noticed something with all of these different conversations 15, 16 years ago. I noticed that they use the same 3-phase approach. What I'm saying is, within all of these different subject areas and in all of these books written by all of these experts in 1 or 2 areas of business, the same 3 phases are being suggested no matter what the conversation, to the point where I believe there is an underpinning superstructure or substructure for all suggested by expert work conversations. Insofar as I'm yet to see a conversation on any subject suggested by an expert that doesn't fit the 3 phases, which I call learn, teach, explore. And I train, learn, teach, explore now. The way I figure it, well, if every work conversation has the same 3-phase approach, why don't I speed up people's development by simply teaching those 3 phases and then dropping individual conversations in? So it's a completely new way of training people, I suppose. Now, what are these 3 phases? I've been holding off telling you. Probably the name learn, teach, explore suggests strongly what I'm talking about. Every expert in every conversation I've seen suggests that the person of influence start with inquiry. Now, in work, that doesn't mean just listening. It doesn't mean just questioning. It's a combo deal, listening and questioning combined. But in every conversation I've ever collected, steps 1 and 2, sometimes even 3 or 4, you can only achieve them by using inquiry. You can see an example behind me. Then there's always a single step. I've never seen a 2-step approach where you switch and you go from being the interviewer and therefore turning the other person into the statement-making responder. You switch roles and all of a sudden you're asking them to be the listener and questioner and you become the statement maker. That's teach. And then straight afterwards, the back end, usually at least 2 steps, sometimes more, is what I call explore, where it seems to open up. These first 2 phases seem to open up connected, authentic, back and forth, intuitive chit-chat. What I call the actual conversation bit. So one of the things that I've learned, the insight that I've developed is, every work conversation isn't just a conversation. There's an interview that happens up front, then there's some instruction that triggers the actual connected conversation in the second half. It's a fascinating thing. So as I say, I now train people in just an hour or 2 in the learn, teach, explore phases. I get them good at those 3 generic phases, then I drop conversations in. And I've taken all those conversations that I've collected and I've reconstituted them as learn, teach, explore structures. And so people are reading the same good advice, but in a more connected, structured way, colour-coded, etc. And I find everything gets accelerated. I remember once for a large national insurer, I'd taken the group I was training through Learn, Teach, Explore a couple of months before. And so we'd released the system across an insurance claims team and they were using it for all sorts of conversations. I was training them in assertiveness. I trained them in 1 hour in 3 conversations, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, including a role play. And the way I did it was, okay, guys, go to page 12. There is a single page, learn, teach, explore structure for dealing with someone who's being difficult in a negotiation. Just take it in. I said, just silently study that for 90 seconds. Come on, guys. Just take it in. You know, learn, teach, explore. Straight into a role play. In fact, at times straight into 2 role plays where the pairs got to reverse. It's a fascinating thing. To be able to accelerate people's communication skills training in an era where training sessions are getting shorter and shorter anyway. Anyway, that's Learn, Teach, Explore. It's all I wanted to talk about today. If you liked this video, please press like and subscribe, and have a great day.